Mental mediation is the idea that we all have three inner voices. We have an inner child, an inner critic, and a higher self. And when we feel turmoil in some way, it's usually because the inner child and the inner critic are fighting. I have this technique to kind of repair the relationship with each of those voices and for them to repair the relationship amongst themselves.
I think what listeners will find so fascinating is that you are, I hate using the word retired, but you are a former pop singer. And now you've created this program called Raise Your Voice.
Yeah.
I want to start back at the pop singer, right? Like how we're going to talk about Raise Your Voice. We're going to talk all that you're doing now. But I'd love for you to share, like, tell me about like the conception, right? Like where did the wheels start really turning for you?
Yeah, that already is an interesting story, I think, at least I hope.
Yeah.
Because I started my career as a psychologist, actually.
Okay.
I always wanted to be a
Before
singer.
pop singer?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that came after.
Nope.
See?
Nope.
Learning all the things.
So as a kid, I always loved singing and, I loved singers. I was a huge Mariah Carey fan, knew all the ad-libs of every song. And that was just my dream, I would watch these singers on stage and I was like, I want to be that. I want to do that. But I was painfully shy, first of all. And second, I grew up in this little Dutch town and it just seemed like a fictional profession to me. It seemed like, you don't actually become a singer. That's like becoming a unicorn, But yeah, so I thought, okay, I'm not going to do music, obviously. That's crazy. What else do I love? Who does that? So I thought, what else do I love? I love people. I love helping people and I love their stories. So I thought, okay, I'll study psychology. Loved psychology, big love of mine. And then at the end of that studies, I started working at this training company and I helped these people kind of reach their professional goals. So how to get from A to B in really simple terms. And I noticed, there's always like an emotional barrier. It's both practical and emotional. And that has been a theme throughout my life that, if you want to get from A to B, there's a practical, thing you have to learn and there's emotional barriers. So, I really liked that job. But, in working with these people, I noticed that a lot of them were unhappy because they weren't actually living their purpose.
Like they're successful.
Yes.
Successful, right? On paper.
Yes.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And it didn't feel like success. So I'm really grateful that I learned that at that age. At the time I was 27 or something like that. No, 25. I don't know. In my 20s.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I don't go for it, I'm going to be like you. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to be unfulfilled. I got the opportunity to meet with these big shots in Holland. It's a very small community, but just big people in the music industry. So I learned a lot from producers, and then at some point I got a few offers to get signed as a singer-songwriter, and I was just like, "Yep, I'm gonna go for it. This is it. This is it.
This is the next chapter, right? Love.
This is next chapter of my life, and it was a dream come true. And at the same time, I noticed, oh shit, this is really scary.
But okay, that's a whole nother thing I could talk to you about, right? When we get, because everyone talks about the fear of failure.
Yeah.
But what about what happens when we get the thing we're asking for?
Exactly.
And then we're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Now this is like real.
Yeah. Someone made a mistake.
Yeah. So tell us like what happened at that point.
This was probably where I grew most, where I developed a really strong mindset because, like you said, you finally get what you wanted. It's like having a baby.
Yeah. Yes.
You're just counting down the days till the delivery.
Analogy. Yes.
You're like, then I can take a break. No,
totally.
Then that's when it starts, obviously. So same with that contract. It's something you kind of hope and wish for. It's this pie in the sky dream as a kid. And then you sign and you're like, okay, and now what?
Yeah.
And then starts, a journey of meeting a lot of people, them asking you, what do you want? Do you want to make an album? What do you want to say on your album? There's all these questions. You can perform there, you can perform there. But I'm really nervous to perform. You can record there, but I'm really nervous to. So all these internal struggles came up. And I'm so grateful for that time because I'm grateful for that time and grateful for my psychology background because I was like, I want this so badly. I'm going to have to coach myself through this. I can't say goodbye to this dream. I got to make this work, and I got to find a way to show up even when I'm scared, And I learned a lot about how the voice and the mind works together. I get nervous so quickly, and it shows up in my voice immediately. So I needed to find a way to, not just learn technique, but also learn the psychology of the voice and the psychology of performance. And that was the seed of a program that I created after that called Vocal Psychology. I started helping other artists with the same thing. Because to my surprise, I was not the only one.
What does that mean, vocal psychology? I've literally never heard that before. You know when you feel like I've heard every personal development psychology term, never heard of it. So enlighten us, please.
It's wild to me that it's not more well-known.
Yeah.
Well, not the term, I invented the term, but the concept, because, well, you know this. When I'm sure you've had moments where you're nervous, you have to speak or you have to do...
Yeah, I feel like my throat closing. Yes.
Yeah, and your breath is all the way up here, and your body is suddenly very unfamiliar.
Totally.
And your voice comes out all wrong. That's annoying as a speaker, but it's especially annoying as a singer. And especially when you're in a high-stakes moment where you have to record something or there's a show. It's really hard to experience that, right?
Yeah.
So, I learned that there is a connection between voice and mind, and there are tools that you can use to relax your body, your voice, and your mind. And so I created a method around it. So how I used to coach singers is we would go through technique, and then I'm not emotional, I'm just
yeah. I'm like, being emotional is okay too.
It's okay too. It's okay too. And that happens. Let's imagine I am emotional. When you go through technique with someone, you go through a song, and I might say, okay, now open your chest so you can create volume in a healthy way, or, engage your core so you can create volume.
Yeah.
And something in their bodies feels like, I just can't. I can't engage my core. I can't relax my jaw. I just can't.
Yeah.
And that's when you hit the emotional root of the technical issue. So common things that I would see were, for instance, not able to relax the jaw.
That's me.
Yeah?
I have the tightest jaw ever. My dentist is always like, what is that knot there? Let go, girl.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
If that would happen, we would do something I call mental mediation.
Okay.
Mental mediation is the idea that we all have three inner voices. We have an inner child, an inner critic, and a higher self. And when we feel, turmoil in some way, when we feel inner conflict, when we feel stuck or anything like that, it's usually because the inner child and the inner critic are fighting.
Makes sense. Yep. Like siblings, right? They're in a fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have this technique to kind of repair the relationship with each of those voices and for them to repair the relationship amongst themselves, because that's very necessary and people overlook that part.
Yeah.
So in the case of the jaw, usually what I notice is there's something of I can't accept the situation and I can't change it either.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fixer, right?
Yes.
I've never met a problem I don't feel like I can't solve.
Yeah. Same.
So I look at it and I'm just like, when I feel like I can't do something about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Totally. And I see it around me a lot right now. Women in our 40s, carrying the mental load.
Yeah. It's
There's
heavy.
a lot of jaw stuff because they're like, I don't want to be responsible for this, but
I feel like I have to,
stuck.
and then there's nothing I can do about it.
That. So that, in my experience, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But usually that's
She's the beam doctor, okay?
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Don't come to me for medical advice. So what we would do is mental mediation. So facilitate a conversation between the inner critic and the inner child and extend compassion to both of them, having them talk, which is a very interesting thing to experience, and then find a compromise, find a way forward together. And so we dive super deep.
Sure.
There's a lot of crying.
Is it all conscious, or how do you, like, is there hypnosis or?
There is, it's interesting that you say that because we close our eyes,
sure,
both of us, and you dive so deep that it does feel like an altered state of consciousness. Yeah. I'm not a hypnosis expert or anything, but it does feel like it's not this,
right?
It's something different.
Yeah.
And
you leave the 3D and you're somewhere else. Yeah.
Because I ask my people also to speak as their inner child, speak as their inner critic, and that does something to your consciousness. And it's absolutely magical. It changes lives.
So what were some things that maybe like surprised you with these women that you were working with? Like what maybe were you not expecting?
I love that question. Well, the first thing that comes up is, so we have this WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised how much, like the level at which they were supporting each other. And the vulnerability of, I'm going to this network event tonight and I really don't feel like it. And just the influx of love and tips and, and, we started creating content together as well. That was really great because you don't have that, I don't think, but a lot of women are like, okay, I'll create something. Oh, this sucks.
Or I look ugly.
Record it again. I look ugly.
Yeah.
This is stupid. And then you just don't post it. It's just in your drafts for eternity.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what we do for each other is, we have a bit of a, here's my post. Oh, that's amazing. Post it today, and then things start moving. It's just a bit of that, accountability, like you said, and the support. That is what surprised me most.
Yeah.
That is what makes this just invaluable to me.
Women are fucking amazing.
Oh my God. I love women.
I do too. I'm just like, I'm hoping I live to a certain point where like women truly are running the world again. Oh
my God. Barbie planted the seed.
Yes,
let's
go.
The movie, the pink, house.
Yes, I'm here for it. What were some of the challenges that like you had to sort of overcome and get through? Because I think that for this podcast in specific, I don't know that I have a bunch of aspiring singers.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of aspiring, I would say, people who want to start podcasts and people who want to be speakers.
It's all the same thing.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
So that I would think it would be really interesting to hear about some of your challenges and things that you faced and like what tools you sort of used to get through that.
Totally. Yeah, I think as creatives, whether that's, you're a writer, you're a singer, or I think entrepreneurs are
100%.
Entrepreneurs are creatives too.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship is art.
Oh, I love that. Entrepreneurship is art.
Yeah, it really is. I really, really believe that. You want to create something and, share it with the world, right? So the common things that I went through are, am I good enough?
Yeah,
what am I going to say?
It's a cutthroat industry.
Yeah. And you tend, again, like the same metaphor applies here. You start focusing too much on all the eyes that are on you, the world around you, instead of, well, who am I? And what do I have to say? And what is my unique thing? Something I'm a really big believer in recently, actually, is something I discovered that changed my life again.
Yeah.
Is to embrace your polarizing edge.
Ooh, I love that.
You're going to love this. So, before we do anything, before we go on stage, before we post, before we, share ourselves in any way, we get these spirals, right? We get the, am I good enough? What if they think I'm too much?
Yeah,
what
is
if
anyone going to listen?
Is anyone going to listen? Which is all the things I went through then and continue to go through as a human. Our inner critic will say, yeah, maybe tone down a bit on, the girliness, or tone down a bit, do a bit more of that and a little bit of less of
don't
that.
wear the red suit
Don't
today.
wear the red.
Don't wear
That's
the big
much.
purple dress.
Exactly. This is too pink. Let's use a more professional color. When you start embracing those things that your inner critic says, you embrace your polarizing edge. It's the thing that makes you so magnetic to the right people. Because the thing that I'm starting to embrace is to be magnetic is to be repellent. If you think of magnets, they will either stick together or will never,
ever be together. Yeah.
Same thing here. And, I'm a recovering people pleaser like many of us.
Yes. I always say I'm not a perfectionist, but I am a people pleaser.
100%.
Recovering now. Sometimes.
And I still am. I'm like a professional people pleaser for the right people.
Yes.
I love, being of service to people, but not to anyone.
No.
And everyone anymore. So something I learned as a singer is, when I first got hired as a singer in this huge national Dutch band, I really wanted to prove myself, that I was worthy to be on that stage. And I remember thinking, okay, when I'm performing, I need to get everybody on the dance floor. Everybody needs to dance. And I'm going to show them that I'm like a really good performer. And I would focus on all the wallflowers. Because I'd be like, okay, you guys are on the floor. Now let's get you to the floor. People with the drinks in their hands. And it was just a fail. No one was happy.
Okay.
People on the dance floor were
like, what about me? Hello.
I was working so hard. And the people standing around were like, don't.
They're like, we're good, girl. Leave me alone. Yeah.
And I noticed, okay, this is not the way. So I started doing the opposite. I started just singing to the people that really liked what we were doing.
Yes.
I started really having fun with them. And of course, then more people came to dance. Not everybody. That's okay. Sure. But I guess that's a way of looking at that. So to get back to your question, if you have ambitions to write a book or start a podcast or do anything to share what you know and what you like, embrace that polarizing edge. Whatever your inner critic says, lean into it. And embrace the idea that to be magnetic is to be repellent. And that is not just okay, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to repel a certain group of people.
So if our inner critic says, for example, you can't wear that dress for a job interview. Yeah, that would be too crazy.
Yeah, too crazy.
How would I then embrace that? What would that look like for me?
Yeah.
To say, I'm going to wear it anyway?
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. I'll give my example. So I've always been a very childlike person.
Sure. Yeah. Playful, fun.
Fun. I get real excited about things.
Yeah.
And I love people. And I'm also, I think it's a bit of that Costa Rican thing as well.
Sure, yes.
I love people so much.
Yes.
Yeah. And my inner critic often says, I mean, less now, but in the past, be more professional, be more grown up, like be more, you're an adult now. And I've completely embraced my childlike.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it does annoy some people. I really genuinely don't care anymore because I notice that it also really attracts the right people. So I wear crazy things all the time. So yeah, if you want to wear your beautiful pink dress or...
but I like that example because I think this gives them something to to work with where it's like instead of trying to correct it and be more professional, be more toned down. You're an adult now. You've said, no, fuck that. I'm going to embrace this part of me that I really do like. And it's natural for you to be childlike and fun. And you do have, a serious side. But if you want to lean into that, and some people might say, well, I don't like that. She's too crazy. She's too playful. But you're going to attract more of the right people.
Yeah, 100%.
It reminds me of bringing that all the way to social media, though, too, because I think people feel like they have to show up on social media in certain ways, say certain things. And I even catch myself doing this.
Sure.
Because you're like, oh, but I don't want to lose followers.
Yes.
But it's like, then you're not gaining the right followers because it's not who you are.
Exactly.
And then you're going to lose those people when you start really being who you are. And it's this really, you've got to pick a direction, right? Because if you don't choose yourself, you're going to ultimately, like all those people you worked with, get to a successful place. And
100%. Yeah. And I think it helps to define who those groups are.
Yeah.
Just like we define our target group, I find it very helpful to also define the group that will not get you if you lean into your polarizing edge. And then you just know, I'm going to lose followers. That's great.
Yes.
I don't even want you here.
That's what my clients say, but I sent the thing I really wanted to send and then people unsubscribed. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
That means we did something.
Yes.
We actually are communicating.
Yeah.
Because for all those people who said you weren't for them, you have all these people who you're definitely going to be for.
100%.
Like, I would rather that than just nothing, than vanilla.
Yeah. Same.
Right?
Same.
I'm like, bye, bitch.
Yeah.
You go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I love this so much. I also want to hear more about, like, you've shared with us all these beautiful polarizing edge and being able to what did you say? Mediation?
Mental mediation.
Mental mediation. Yeah. But I also want to talk about your disco ball theory.
Oh,
because your girl loves a disco ball. Oh. So the minute I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to know. Talk to us about what this is all about.
Okay, you're going to love this. So
I
have a theory for everything.
Yes. I mean, hello. What do smart women do? We create theories and then we make them true.
That's right. So this is something I learned also as a singer, actually. When I released my first single, it, for some reason, blew up. It went viral. We still don't know how. We didn't promote it. It just went viral for no reason. And, of course, you deal with comments then, right?
Yes.
And that was the first thing I ever posted. It was like, comment. It was thousands. And I got so freaked out.
Yeah. I can't imagine, honestly.
So freaked out. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you must.
Well, I mean, but I'm not like, it's when things go viral.
Yeah.
That you'll get a ton of nice stuff.
Yes.
This changed my life. This was amazing. I love it. But then you have those people that are just like the devil incarnate. I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
That's right.
But we tend to like read those, and pay attention to that.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's exactly what I experienced. You get so many comments that you get the whole range of emotions. You get the, you're a goddess.
Yes.
And the, you're so ugly.
Yeah.
And it was really, really refreshing for me because it was really enlightening for me, I should say.
Yeah.
Because I realized, there's no truth here. There's no truth in the comment section. It's all projection.
Ooh.
All projection. Because
even the good ones.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and that is what the disco ball theory is about.
Yeah.
For me. A disco ball in and of itself is like a boring,
Sure.
There's nothing happening there. If a bright light shines on the disco ball, it becomes this magical thing. So I learned that any opinion is just a reflection of who you are.
Yes.
And so it makes no sense to be afraid of judgment because it's not about you.
Yeah. That's good.
The disco ball theory.
I love it. I tend to attract, I guess the word is anxious, but a lot of like overthinkers, very anxious, want to do it so beautifully and so perfect right out the gate. And that is a big barrier for them. But for these anxious people, for these overthinkers, what are some initial first steps to like get out of this loop that they're stuck in? Because I know that it's a multi-step process and it's not just one thing you do and it's like, I'm fixed, I'm here. But when you're working with someone at that very, very early stage, what does that look like?
Yeah. Okay. So it starts with awareness, just awareness. When you find yourself in a spiral, it starts with a thought loop. It starts with, me coming on this podcast. What if I say something stupid?
Sure.
What if I look dumb? What if I look shiny? So there's a thought loop. The thought loop is there because of certain expectations. So the thought wouldn't be there if there was no expectation of, I need to say every word 100% right.
So it's an expectation we put on ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So first we need to become aware of the expectations that we have for ourselves. And those are, so crazy usually.
Yeah.
We're not even aware of that.
Yes.
So it helps to kind of write it down and read it and be like, oh my God, I would never say
like
that
what if your best friend came to you and said, I'm going to go on this podcast and here are my expectations. You would look at them and be like, what, girl? Are you okay? Yeah.
So there's these expectations. The expectations are there because of a certain goal you have. I need to be perfect. I need to, make everybody happy. There's a deep-seated perfection goal, a spiral goal. It helps to know that. That goal comes from an emotional wound, how that needs healing, that needs mental mediation.
Yes.
So when you're aware of these things, you can then flip the script and say, okay, what is a goal that is much more attainable, that helps me get into flow? My goal today is not to be this perfect human being. It's to connect with you and to share some of the things I know. It's not to be not shiny or not.
Yeah.
I was worried. Do I need more powder?
Are we good?
Yeah. So my real goal is to connect, right? Okay, well, when that's the goal, the expectations are way different. So then the expectations could be, sometimes I will lose my words or I will...
Or a light's going to go out.
A light's going to go out. Yeah. Things are going to happen. And that's totally fine. That doesn't ruin our connection.
Yeah.
And so you build this new goal and these new expectations for yourself. And then I like to kind of anchor it with certain triggers or a mantra to help you remember it. Because your mind will definitely go back to the spiral.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Quick. So a mantra could be, connection, not perfection or whatever. It's so that's a really quick way to explain how to flip that around.
That's really beautiful. And I think so perfect for everyone listening because that I feel like is such a relatable thing. And we get stuck in these loops. And those loops happen almost everywhere in our life, right? Yep. And it's like as simple as, going to volunteer at your kid's school. Are other moms going to like me? Yeah. Is this going to be okay for me? Or it's like, I just had another gal in here who's like wanting to date again. She's like, I'm not going on those dating apps. Yeah. Or, posting on social media. It's these same loops. They follow us no matter what environment we're in. So it's like we need, like you're saying, that mantra, that anchor to be able to be like, okay, you're safe now.
Yeah, exactly.
You can say this thing. Yeah. You can say this thing. I feel like one of the other things that's coming to mind that I want to hear what you have to say about it is if we've gone a majority of our life people pleasing, following what everyone else is doing, all the trends, how do we really know when we are in flow or when it is our authentic voice? What does that feel like?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I guess for me, I'm so in tune with my body that I just feel it in my gut.
I have the same answer. Yeah? So I'm just curious if you had a different answer.
I'm curious now if there's like another theory that I could... Yeah, it's just a gut feeling. But I do think that sometimes you lose touch with that gut feeling if you're too available to other people and other things. But I feel it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel it in my gut.
I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, this feels right.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, can you say that to other people? But I think really to your point and like bringing it back in this whole episode is we have to get to the point where we know our body.
Yeah, totally.
And know ourselves. And both you and I have done a lot of work and like understanding those cues.
Yeah.
And I haven't always had that. You know, I didn't always trust it either because I was like, well, this person makes way more money than I do in business. I should definitely listen to them.
Yeah.
They know more than I do. Right. But even though inside it was like, Caitlin, you know this. You know, what are you doing? And I was like, but you know, so I think now I fall so much more into like, okay, I've got to protect what my body is saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that. Okay. I'm glad we have the same answer.
Yeah. But if you are still trying to develop that feeling, I think my first instinct would be to say, try journaling as your inner child and your inner critic and your higher self. Because I think if you're not connected to that feeling, that means there's conflict
somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where mental mediation really helps. So your inner child is always the voice of, I want this and I don't want that, even if it's not, if it doesn't make sense or if it's not convenient.
Because kids don't make sense.
They don't make sense. And that's why they're teachers for us, because they're really honest, And the inner critic will always be the voice of fear. Don't do that, just tone it down.
Yes.
And it's really from a place of protection, but it comes across as very fearful.
Yeah.
And if you ignore it too much, it'll get really loud and mean, as we all know, I'm sure.
Yes.
And then there's this third voice, the higher self, that is the voice of wisdom and intuition, the voice of this is right, or
Yeah,
so
like you've got this.
If you can't feel that voice of knowing, that means that the conflict is too strong, in my experience.
Yeah.
So then I would advise to come to me for mental.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's helping to sort through those relationships, those inner relationships, and how it's all, how they are either getting along or not getting along.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, I love this conversation so much.
Yeah.
Is there anything you feel like, this is just on my heart, I don't know why, I want to share it? I always like to end conversations with like you having the last word, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I wish I'd prepared that. I have nothing to say.
You're like, I have nothing and everything to say.
So much.
We did.
I guess I have a bit of a wish for, I don't know when this comes out, but around. I find New Year's resolutions, people hate them.
Yes.
I love them.
I love that you love them.
I love a moment of, maybe creating a ritual for yourself. And if I could share a wish for everyone, is the biggest thing you can give yourself is grace and love. And like you said earlier, treat yourself like a friend, or like you would treat a friend. And that's so cliche maybe, but I think it is the key to a fulfilled life.
I love
love
that.
to the world.
All the love. All the love. Where can people connect with you and find you?
You can find me on Instagram. My name is very difficult, so you'll see it.
It's going to be in the show notes. Yeah.
My name is Maruja Retana. People call me Maru because
Maru,
it's too hard. Ru.
Maruja.
Lots of variations.
Yeah.
I'm right now actually creating a new website because Raise Your Voice is so new. But Instagram and LinkedIn are the best places to find me.
And everything will be linked below in the show notes. But I'm so grateful for you coming here, being in person. This was so beautiful.
Thank you for
and a wonderful way to get to know you more and
thank
hear all
you
your
for
stories.
What you do. You're a beacon of light. You're
Thank you.
Part of the solution here.
Thank you. I love this conversation today.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
That was so fun.
That was so fun.
So fun, girl. Oh my